Princess of India would be romantic.
Oh sure, regal monarchs and maharajas handpicked by my father. My life is brimming with romance.
We're better than this, Fiji. We belong up there.
You must throw me the lamp at once!
No one asked you.
Boom, there you go. That was a trailer for Aladdin 3477, the Jinn of Wisdom, arriving on January 3rd, 2025 on Cable, VOD, Digital HD, Apple TV, Prime Video, Fandango, from Buffalo 8, all the things. You can't miss it. Go check it out. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Joining me to talk all things Aladdin 3477 is writer, director, producer, amazing cat himself. Bald head, just like me. Bald head guys unite.
Barber.
I love it. The amazing Matt Busch. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on. Exciting times, man.
Definitely, man. You're gonna ring in the new year with some amazing sci-fi goodness, and I want to just start right there. For those that just might have just seen this trailer for the first time, this looks so freaking amazing, dude. This looks crazy cool. I read a little bit that this came off of Kickstarter. So on a non-Lucasfilm type, you come from Lucasfilms, but on a non-Lucasfilm type budget, you're getting this Lucasfilm style quality.
Well, thank you.
That has to be said.
Yeah, thank you. It's I didn't have the budget for really expensive CGI, so I decided to go old school, just like George Lucas did, and it's almost entirely all in-camera effects with mechanical puppetry and miniatures, forced perspective shots. It was fun going old school with all that.
I love it. I love it. I've done some Star Wars fan films over the years here and there. I'm a big Star Wars nerd. I know you cut your cloth with that. You're known for that. You've also worked on a bunch of other amazing IPs. But where did taking something that we know, Arabian Nights, Aladdin, people may just know from Disney, but it comes from Arabian Nights and all of that, the novels and everything that came before. When did the apple hit you in the head to, maybe put pen to pad or fingers to keyboard and start writing this up?
It's so funny. It happened on accident because many, many moons ago, I started writing what I wanted to be my science fiction epic. I wanted to create my own Star Wars. So I started illustrating a graphic novel. I had everything planned out. And then it dawned on me about 20 pages in, oh my gosh, my story is just like Aladdin. And there's no genie or wishes or anything. But I was like, oh no. So over time, I kept trying to change the story, but it just wasn't exciting anymore. And it occurred to me that Aladdin is in the public domain. So if I wanted to, I could. Even that didn't really excite me. But over the course of thinking about it for a number of years, it just became more exciting to try to infuse, which was a challenge in and of itself, but to infuse the Aladdin story kind of into my own and then, shake it up a little bit. And here's something brand new.
I love that. Being that I'm a person of color, I'm all about representation. So the fact that you kind of, by accident, you wanted to tell your own Star Wars type story with sci-fi, big sci-fi guy, to then infuse it with something that's known. And I love that it was, in the public atmosphere, the IP was there in public domain, and it brought cultural elements. And for those of us that want representation, to have that, it's beautiful. I love that.
Thank you. Well, one of the things that I hope people, either learn about it soon or maybe know about this. The Arabian Nights tales. So most people are familiar with the Disney version of Aladdin, which takes place in a fictional city called Agrabah, assumedly in the Middle East somewhere. But what a lot of people don't know is even though the names are Arabic, if anyone opens up Arabian Nights and looks at the Aladdin story, it actually takes place in China. And specifically, Aladdin is Chinese. So I thought it would be really interesting to split the difference and have it take place throughout Asia and India. And it's definitely a multicultural, global adventure. And it was so fun to do. It was so fun. I did a lot of research and I traveled to any of these countries that it takes place in. I've been there, and it was just fantastic working with beautiful people all around, and I just love all of the the cultures on the other side of the world. I've always just been fascinated with I grew up in Michigan, so everything's just kind of suburbia over here. So I wanted to do the opposite of that. That was way more exciting to me.
Oh, I love that. And I dig it. And that's, I think, why people feed into sci-fi, why we love that, because we can escape into just anything. It's universal. It crosses everything, and you can have so much fun. And then you learn through that as well, which I think is just so remarkable. And for you in Michigan, it's crazy. So, and you went and did that, so which is super cool. So, all right, the apple hits you in the head. We're writing
Yeah.
this. You win the
Yes.
graphic novel route. So it finally comes together. We're gonna do this. But instead of going the graphic novel, you decided to go film.
Yeah.
Tell me that, and I know this is part one of a trilogy that you're hoping to
Yeah.
do as well.
So, during the '90s, I lived in Los Angeles and I worked on a lot of films and advertising. I used to work in concept design and doing storyboarding for films. And I had all these crazy big ideas, but everyone was interested in having me illustrate their ideas, but executives weren't really interested in my ideas. And I could kind of see the hierarchy of the way things worked. And I kind of knew if I were ever going to make my own sci-fi epic, I would probably have to do it on my own grassroots style. And I thought that was kind of fun. That kind of really intrigued me. So it just became this really super huge big project that I embarked on about 15 years ago. And we had to do it old school, where I had to rent an industrial facility that we converted into a sound stage. We built all of our sets. We had to make all of the costumes, make all of the props. And it was a huge undertaking, but I was like a little kid the whole time. I enjoyed every minute of it.
I love it. It's where the kid at hearts can just be at play as big kids. I love it.
Yeah.
So a passion project with and finding people that I'm sure were just as passionate about this material, and it shows from that trailer. And those will all and people will also see it in the film when it drops on January 3rd, 2025. So let's talk about some of the amazing people you brought on board to bring this story to life. And then also, but well, actually before that, let's talk on the story a little bit without giving too much away. We don't want to spoil,
Yeah.
but they know the Arabian Nights, they know Aladdin, but just how it works
Yeah.
in this 3477, the Jinn of Wisdom.
Yeah. So I think people are going to be surprised. They'll be able to tell that it's the Aladdin story, but there's a lot more characters. There's a lot more storylines, story arcs, twists and turns, characters that are not in any other Aladdin that you've ever seen before. And I think what's interesting, there's definitely two more films. This is act one of three. And the other two films are filmed, so they're happening for sure. So this film is an investment, and you are, I think sometimes people are hesitant, like, oh, like if this one's successful, they'll make more, and that they're nervous. Like, what if I watch this and I really like it, and then they don't make any more? There's definitely is going to be two more happening, and it's real exciting. I will say this: as much as I'm so proud of this movie, it's my least favorite of the three because this is just the setup. And it's action. There's so much going on. I think it's a great film, but the second one is my favorite. That's when everything really goes upside down. And then with the story and the action, a lot of humor in these movies as well. And then and the third movie is obviously the big climactic kapow. So very exciting, but if people like the first one, you are gonna love the next two for sure.
I love that. Wasn't it Empire Strikes Back the second one? And is that what we as the people as
Yeah,
as the society loved that more than the first one?
for
Didn't we
sure.
like
For
Strikes Back more than that?
of
I know
course,
people like Return of the Jedi,
yeah.
but we all have our favorites. But Strikes Back, I think, is like where it really moved the story a little bit more because that's where you're Luke, I'm your father, right? That's
Yeah,
what
well,
I think
yeah,
Strikes Back.
yeah. And I think a lot of people like Two Towers the best for the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But I think by nature, whenever you have a grand story, again, Act One is kind of setting everything up, so you kind of get a feel for how it is. Act Two, you flip everything upside down, and then Act Three, everything gets resolved. So a lot of people don't like Act Three because then it's over and there's nothing to look forward to, you know? So, yeah, it
I
is what
dig
it
it.
is.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. When we have the other 2 and 3 come through, you got to come back on so we can promote that as well when
Yes,
it's out there. So I'm
please.
assuming you're in like post now, getting
Yep.
cleaning it up,
Yeah.
making it all beautiful. Do we know uh drops on that yet? Will
No,
we get it at
I
the end
wish.
of? Or we're
No,
doing a year?
no official information other than it'll be a lot quicker than it took for me to get this first film out. That's for sure.
Awesome. All right. So Aladdin 3477 dropping January 3rd. Let's shoot some love to the cast and crew that you put
Yeah.
together to make this all beautiful. Let's first talk about the cast, your leads, the
Yeah,
amazing performers that you
absolutely.
were able to
So
put together.
Eric Steele plays Aladdin. He has an awesome career on both sides of the camera. So he was really great to work with. And also in general, because he's Aladdin, he was willing, man, I put him through everything, covered in mud, covered in slime, and all the things. He was such a trooper. Christy Perovsky, who plays the princess, is awesome. She's just an incredible actress. And then Erin Golmatis, who plays the Jinn of Wisdom. Oh my gosh, that actually I couldn't pull the trigger on making this happen until I found my Jinn of Wisdom, because it's not like the genie with, the funny impressions and everything. This is just a little bit more of a serious take, as you can guess, the Jinn of Wisdom. And so I needed someone that was just really compelling and could command the screen in a different kind of way. And so when I found Aaron, it was like, oh my gosh, this is it. We're ready to go. Let's do this.
Love it. All right, so the crew and obviously we all love the droids. We want to talk about practical effects, just all the beauty that
Yeah.
that has come across with this.
Oh my gosh, we had an amazing crew, and because we were, we're small potatoes. We had an amazing crew, and everyone has like an official like producer, as executive producer, various crew in lighting and everything else. But truth be told, on any given day, everyone was running different jobs, and there was no ego in any of it. Everyone was willing to hold a smoke machine or pull a rope to make it look like the doors mechanically open, and stuff. It was fantastic. Everyone just put their blood, sweat, and tears into this. Just amazing, amazing crew.
Awesome. So for you as an artist, you're an artist. You're classically trained artist. You've done these amazing designs and stuff. But what is it like for you? You obviously, I'm assuming, have those sensibilities of the visual, of how to
Yeah.
frame the shot. Tell me about that transition. What did you learn most? Kind of graduating into this and putting this together. Some lessons learned and just some of the amazing things that went your way and or did
Yeah.
not that you'll know going forward.
Gosh, well, this was a magnum opus project where I have a background in comic books, storyboards, advertising, all these different things that I was able to bring to the table. But I think the best thing that I learned, and I'm so glad that I did this, is every step of the way, I was really open-minded to listening to cast and crew, because everyone always has ideas. And I had a vision, but having my mind open, there were so many times that people said, hey, why don't you have the characters do this? We've got, this set with this thing over here. Wouldn't it be neat if we did that? And I would think about it, and I try to think of all the reasons why we wouldn't do that. And then it's just like, that's brilliant. Oh my gosh, we absolutely should do that. And the films are better off for it. So I think it's great to be the captain of the ship where you get to decide what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. But the more you can, everyone's got great ideas, And just having an open mind to that, I think was the secret sauce to capturing the lightning in the bottle that we have for sure.
Awesome. So, with that being said, I'm sure there's something really cool that once you finally got to in production, you're excited to like maybe pull off. I don't want to spoil, so if you want to talk around it, but what were you really excited to like that you're looking forward to when you penned this script and you got your team together to, bring that to the screen when you
Yeah.
filmed it? Can you
You
talk
know
to that
what?
effect?
Sure. I think the biggest thing that I was nervous about was Fiji, who's Aladdin's robot sidekick. And I knew we were going to puppeteer Fiji, but I was worried that maybe, if it doesn't look good, or if it doesn't work, then man, that's really going to throw off the entire film. And I actually have someone here that wants to say hi. And
Awesome.
here's Fiji. And it was interesting. We tried a couple different things for Fiji, where we were making the robot out of foam and a couple different designs that weren't working. So at the last minute, I had to figure out how we were going to make this work and make this cool. So I thought, Aladdin probably builds his own robots out of junk from the past, because manufacturing is kind of dead in this world. So a lot of people recognize the CD player, for
Yeah,
the
I was
head
like, I
where
know that's a
I
scene. I think I had that.
everyone had this, and replace the speakers with light up eyes, and then there's other like toys and just other pieces. I think this is a like a what is it called? Like around a house, the gutter,
Oh
where the
yeah, yeah,
rain
yeah, yeah,
comes
yeah.
down. So just random things that you just kind of super glue together, and it works for some reason, especially with the sound effects. Um, it just comes to life. It's great.
I love it. I love it. How was it getting, you know, did you already know puppeteers? What was that like, 'cause from artist comic guy getting
Yeah,
these other kind of amazing talents together to just, I would assume they see your passion, as energy, as empath. I'm an empath. As an artist, we're
yeah.
empaths. We're creative. We bring energy together, right? What was that like? And building this team up with that, and
It
just
was
I love
great.
it.
In
That's the best
particular,
part of the journey.
yeah, yeah. In particular for the puppeteering, we had a whole family, the Celesto family, where they do a lot of puppet projects for kids, but they're like a lot of the foam, like kind of things. And still, it was expertise. They really brought a lot of that, which was great. And Clayton Celesto was really helpful with the mechanical, getting a gimbal to work so that the head could move in any direction. A lot of things that were way beyond my expertise for sure. And it was so fantastic having all these different people from all these different backgrounds uh, bringing what they have and what they know to just make this really, really remarkable for an independent film. There's just a lot of things about it that I think really make it kind of stand out for sure.
Yeah, that's what caught my eye when I saw the trailer. It just looks, like I said, you're bringing Lucasfilm quality on a non-Lucasfilm budget. So that to me is mad props. It just looks so good, and everybody else can check it out when it drops on January 3rd. Um, uh, Anything else you want to throw out there to the people? I don't want to spoil for those that haven't seen it yet, but
Yeah,
they're gonna go on for a ride, and we have two more to go. We have the Empire Strikes, as we said, and the Return of the Jedi
yeah,
in
yeah.
the Aladdin 3477 universe. And again, I'd love for you to come back, Matt, when those drop, so we can talk it up. But what do you hope people, and what do you want to tell the people when this drops on January 3rd?
Gosh, I mean, exactly that. If you enjoy the first film, you will definitely love the next two, and they're definitely happening. And it's a great popcorn film. It's not for kids. It's probably on par with I would say Raiders of the Lost Ark. If your kids are old enough to watch the first Indiana Jones film, they're old enough to watch this. And it's an adventure. It's a popcorn movie. There's you might not see this as much in the trailer. There is a fair amount of comedy in it, and it's a fun ride. I'm so thrilled to have gone through this experience and that it is actually coming out and people get to see it.
Awesome. I can't wait to share this with my friends and family. Matt, this is dope. Again, when those other projects drop, please come back so we can talk about it. But now
Yes.
that you're finding your way in this foray of filmmaking, has this got the other creative juices to other things? Are there other things on the plate that maybe are in
Yeah.
production or you want to talk
So
about real
many.
quick?
There's so many. I have so many ideas, but I really need to just focus on the next two because everyone's going to be waiting for those Aladdin movies. But yeah, I have lots of ideas for films. I might not do sci-fi again anytime soon. Not that I don't love it, but I'm really jealous of all my filmmaker friends that do independent films where they like simply film it in their living room and people can wear modern day clothes. Like, oh my gosh, that would have been so much easier than having something take place 1,500 years in the future on the other side of the world, for that matter. But that was half the fun, is all of the challenges that came with it. So we'll see what I do next.
All right, well, I'm gonna have everybody check you out because I have your links in the description below. Y'all, the
Awesome.
amazing writer, director, producer, creative that has given us so much throughout the years. Now he needs your support with Aladdin 3477, The Jinn of Wisdom, dropping January 3rd on all things. Links will be in the description. Matt, thank you so much for your time, my friend. Thank you for
Yeah.
coming through to talk about this with me. And please come back through when the other ones drop. Such a good ride and such a fun time.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Everybody, Matt Busch. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Aladdin 3477. The Jinn of Wisdom drops January 3rd. Again, go check it out. We out. Peace.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
And then I'm
Excellent.
going to mute myself because no one cares about me.
Yeah, we do. We appreciate
Yes, we
you,
do.
Justin. Well, thank you, Justin. Hello, Matt. It is a pleasure to chat with you, sir. Ready to have some fun for about 10 to 15 minutes? Are we good for 10 to 15?
We absolutely
can do
are.
20
And
if you
I
want.
love your background. That's amazing.
You
I
can
got
do
a rep.
20 if you want to do 20, Kuya.
Um, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
I know I got a tight window with some other projects that I've got to do.
Okay.
It's busy award season, you know.
Oh, I know.
A lot of stuff going, you know. All right. Well, Matt, it is a pleasure to chat with you, sir. Thank you for taking time out of your holidays. But I know you have this big project dropping in the new year, so we got to give it love and light.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Definitely. All right. I'm just got my notes up. January 3rd is when it's dropping. So we definitely January 3rd to be exact, right? We're still January 3rd. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So we are recording. I'm gonna do a 3, 2, 1 count real quick to help me with my edit. I'm putting the trailer right in front, so we'll be coming off the trailer. I'm introduce myself, introduce you, and we'll talk all about this amazing project that you have.
Awesome.
All right, here we go. Let's have some fun. Aladdin 3,477. I'll do 3477. How do you generally do? Do you do
30.
Aladdin?
Well, I'm assuming in the year 3477, that's
In
how
the ye-
people will say it. So
Okay.
3477 is usually what we say.
Okay, cool. I want to make sure I get it right for you. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do a 3, 2, 1, introduce myself, introduce you, and we'll have some fun all about it.
Awesome.
All right, here we go. In a 1, 2, 3.